Hello everyone, Nick Quaid here, Campaign Manager, Tim Youths for House. This is one of several fireside chats that we'll be having with candidate Tim. Keeping up with our campaign promise to stay informed and follow up with the progress on the campaign. Tim, how are you doing today?
Doing good, Nick. Nice to see you.
Excellent. Session has been convened now for a little over a month. What are your general thoughts on the progress so far?
I would say, seeing how we have a huge budget deficit and the focus should be on that issue, I would say we are not making a lot of progress at all at the state capitol. Very, very little.
And some of the bills introduced so far, have any of those addressed the budget process?
Well, they have addressed the budget process in the aspect of spending more of your money. There's introduction for light rail to the north, to the south, to the east. There's hundreds of millions of dollars in bonding proposals for all kinds of projects, including some projects that should be underneath the new constitutional amendment that we just passed last year, but they're bonding for it in the general fund. There's universal health care, which is $20 to $50 billion a year, nobody knows. There's universal prescription drugs that somebody introduced. So there's a variety of, I think out of the 800 or 780 bills we're up to now, I think there might be a dozen that have some value to the budget in the aspect of controlling the spending, but other than that, no. Christmas at the legislature.
The governor has offered his budget just recently. I know you've had some time to look it over. What are your thoughts and feelings on the governor's proposal?
Yeah, you and I have spent some time looking at the governor's budget, and we had a chance to go on the internet and look at the Office of Management budget, which has the governor's full proposal there. We found ourselves concerned about an issue of bonding, that the governor's proposing to bond $1 billion to pay interest for the state of Minnesota on its current $4.7 billion worth of current bonds that are out. So in order to balance the budget, the governor wants to bond to pay the bond. So it's kind of like taking your Visa card and using that balance in your Visa card to pay your MasterCard off. We both agree, and I would think most people in the audience out there would agree that that's not a very smart idea. So that's just one of the things of the governor's budget that's a concern.
We've got another budget forecast. There are two budget forecasts that come out at the end of November and the end of February each year. The next one's forecasted to come out on March 10th. What are your thoughts on the results that that's going to show?
Well, I'd like to back up to December 5th when you and I were at the state capitol listening to the budget forecast, and the state economist, Dr. Tom Stinson, was there presenting this budget. And previous morning, or that morning I believe it was, the federal government came out and said there was 580,000 people laid off the previous month. And so the first thing the doctor said was, you can take my whole presentation today and throw it out the window, it's meaningless. But at that time he did say we were pushing 4.8 or $5.2 billion in the hole for the next biennium, and that did not include inflation. And there was another $900 million figured for inflation, and that wasn't included in that $5 billion. Bringing that at that time, you and I had talked, and I said, this budget in March is going to be $7-8 billion. And now I just saw in the Star Tribune today that that's going to be the new forecast. It's going to be at least $7 billion in the hole in March. And so we have some serious issues in the state.
Well, that about wraps up our first session. We'll be coming to you after the forecast, I'm sure, and keeping you well informed. You can stay up to date at www.timyouthsforhouse.com. And I also recommend that you check out the Minnesota House of Representatives website. Very informative. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you.